Hello and welcome to a very special episode of the India Golf Expo 2015 promoted by the Indian Golf Industry Association and an event put together by Rishi Narayan Golf Management. We're here at the DLF Golf and Country Club in Gurgaon and I'm Chaiti Narula. Now it was only 20 years ago that golf was not a very popular sport in this country. When I say that, I mean not too many corporates were coming together in support of the sport. But now with events such as the India Golf Expo 2015, which is one of the largest golfing extravaganzas in South Asia, the paradigm of the sport is completely changing. Let's take a look at all the action from the biggest golfing extravaganza in the country.
The fourth edition of the India Golf Expo was held recently and focused on exploring economic and employment opportunities through the development of golf courses and promotion of golf, tour and tourism in India. Stalwarts from different sectors came together to witness the expo at India's largest meeting ground for the business of golf. The occasion was flagged off by the president of IGIA, Akash Ori.
It's honestly a great honor for the country, for the IGIA, and all of us, for you all to spend this time with us. Today, I'll be happy to share with you that as far as DLF and many other courses in the country are concerned, have completely sensitized themselves with all environmental issues. We have led the way with transplanting of trees, which over the next 2 days you will see. Trees which have been around for the last 20-25 years. So, I mean, that's the kind of scale of work that we see. The entire water resources are through sewage treated plants. The entire irrigation is through that. So there's absolutely zero dependence on water. As they say, golf courses are water guzzlers, but this is recycled water. It's only going back and recycling and coming back into the system. The amount of oxygen that these courses create and green lungs create today, the whole world is talking about it. I think overall it's important that, you know, all of us to get together, to be together. Today we talked about all over, thanks to our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, we're getting the eyeballs. People are wanting to come to the country. People are wanting to talk about it. So I think this is the first step within our systems to do what we are doing. Thank you again.
We are extremely proud of this association with RBL Bank. I think it's a move in the right direction. It's a recognition of the efforts of the IGU towards the growth of the game of golf in this country, and I do look forward to an extremely fruitful and rewarding association with them. Thank you.
Now, panel discussions is the name of the game as far as this expo is concerned, whether it was about successful strategies for management of a golf course to making a golf course a profitably viable venture, to simply lessons that we need to learn from neighboring countries like China, or what are the issues for the inbound tourists for golf tourism in India as well. All of that under one roof right here at this expo. Let's take a look at all of them.
The two-day symposium held at Club 5 of DLF Gurgaon attracted many experts from the national and international golf arena. The day-long brainstorming sessions discussed topics such as golf development, golf management, golf tourism, and golf marketing and promotion.
From our perspective, the more the industry grows, the more we will be able to grow the sport, because if there is no infrastructure at the end of the day, the sport is not going to go very far. And this expo is going to help the infrastructure and all stakeholders partner and economize on everything which needs to be done in an effective manner.
You know, golf is an international sport, and every time that people like us who are in the development business of golf and or management or running facilities, it would always, you know, you would go for these shows, you would learn from these shows, you would meet international consultants, architects, maintenance people. And if when you build golf courses, when you develop golf properties, you also, and when you call them international, you also need to continuously need to make them, you know, even the service standards and maintenance needs to be international. So it's just not about putting the product there; it's also servicing it and making it sustainable.
Well, on that fantastic note, it's a good time now for us to take a quick breather right here on the India Golf Expo 2015, promoted by the IGIA. On the other side, a lot more action awaits from all the conferences and all the happenings right here at DLF Golf and Country Club. Well, welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us on the India Golf Expo 2015 special. Now, it's only once a year that the entire golf fraternity in India comes together under one roof with the suppliers, with the dealers, with the golfers, with the corporates and whatnot. All the action from the expo continues. Take a look.
Developing a golf course involves significant investment. Hence, developers need to make sure that the project is financially viable and can generate revenues. Some of the experts elucidated on this very topic and gave insights into the golf business in India.
See, what happens, there are two things to it. One, the basic operations of a golf course, and second, of course, the development. So if you, and I for one believe that it's very important to segregate the two. So you have to have an operations model which needs to be self-sustaining, and you need to have a development model which will pay for the land that you're on. Otherwise, these become white elephants.
My sense there is that if you've made the investment to have so much of land to build the golf course, you need over 100 acres to do that, then the incremental cost of putting a resort on it is not that significant. On the assumption that you have enough real estate in those 100 acres to monetize it through selling villas and doing those kind of things which will allow you to kind of build up cash flow. But in the overall scheme of things, the incremental cost for a resort is much lower than the kind of resorts, than the kind of returns the resort can give you as a part of the golf course and as a part of the larger real estate community there.
It's like any other product. You've got the positioning of the product. That's especially important. Obviously, if you've got something in the middle of Delhi versus something in the desert in Rajasthan, Delhi's a lot easier to get to, so you'll achieve a lot better returns on your investment in there. But obviously position is also balanced with cost of land. That's the first part of the whole process. The next part is really the combining of various aspects of the project. A lot of the new golf projects have a strong residential base, but there's different classes of residential. You might have a 3,000 square foot block, you might have a 4,000 square foot, 6,000. So it caters to a range, and you've also got to look at things like apartments, condominiums, hotels, all together combining.
Internationally, golf plays a major role in boosting local economies. Following the same model, India too is now poised to become the next golfing destination. Many experts at the symposium spoke about the opportunities and challenges involved in creating golf courses in India.
Well, every state has its rules, environment has its issues. Water is a big question mark because, it needs a lot of water any which ways. However, all our golf courses we are developing over the sewage treatment water. So that, at least 70–80% of the water, you're using your own water as the real estate comes up and subsidizes it. Other than that, the challenge is how do you design it? Nobody knows how to find an architect. There are a lot of, just those kind of architects who are just creating the green spaces, not realizing that the ball hitting range is there. This science, this technical knowledge that is required to design a golf course.
Unfortunately, land is a very, very scarce resource. And if you look at a golf course, you're looking at about 140, 150 acres of land. And the further you go away from major cities, the more difficult it becomes to sustain the golf courses or the golf properties commercially. So I would personally think we would need state help. We would need the public sector coming in, because end of the day you really can't say that the private sector has to put in everything, because for private sector, return on investment, return on opportunity, everything comes into play. And what's been seen as a trend over the last few years, the real estate players are very nicely packaging their real estate around golf courses, and that's been a very solid growth forward till now.
Training staff is a big oversight. Putting properly experienced staff in place is an oversight that happens often. I don't know why, and again, this is not India, but Asia in general. Trusted people are put in very high-level management positions where they have to make critical decisions, and they do their best, but they don't come from a golf-specific background, and oftentimes not even really a business background. Or if they do, it's a very narrow view, say finance or marketing or hospitality, like the hotel industry. But golf is different in its own right, and there's not a lot of golf-experienced people leading or making critical golf business decisions around Asia.
The main impediments are the processes, the permissions, the various authorities you have to go through, and this is not only for golf projects, but it's for all projects, apartments, group housing, everything. But hopefully with Mr. Modi now coming on board, things will start to be streamlined a little. But whether it's Australia, whether it's China, Thailand, India, that bureaucracy and permissions can take up a lot of time and, more importantly, a lot of money.
If you, in Thailand or Malaysia, if you go to a private course or a public course, they welcome you with open arms, with a smile. But in India, it's a closed door policy. Like Delhi Golf Course is a heritage property, you know, right in the heart of city, surrounded by beautiful luxury hotels. But if there is a golf group coming to India to play and they want to play in Delhi Golf Club, they are not happy to offer them because they give preference to their members.
Unfortunately, various organizations have done market research without really understanding the market, thereby giving an idea of a much larger market than that exists. I would say that in the years to come, probably there would be room for mainframe manufacturers to come in. At this point of time, there isn't.
For last few years, retail is not growing in this country. The reason is that value-wise, we are not growing because a lot of discounting is happening here. And the number of golfers have not grown. If you see the growth from 2005 to 2010, a lot of golfers have come. But now a little bit slow. But we as a team, all the companies together and retailers together decided to give more products to the consumers so that they have a better experience of buying products. And the prices are same as US right now in India. So we are planning to give the same price, same experience. So I'm quite hopeful that new change, the change of government, the things are going to improve in golf as well.
So whether it is just exhibitions or panel discussions or summits, conclaves, conferences, or just mingling around with fellow golfers and people from within the fraternity, the entire action is happening right here at South Asia's biggest golf extravaganza, the India Golf Expo 2015. Take a break. We'll bring you all the action on the other side as well. Don't go anywhere.
The Indian golf industry is growing rapidly, but experts believe it still has a long way to go before it can become a world-class golfing destination. India standing in the international golfing arena was something that was discussed by the experts, who also explained how India can learn from the other nations.
One of the things that we hope that India can learn is to avoid all the pitfalls that we stumble into, so that we don't repeat or reinvent the wheel and repeat the mistakes that we make. One of the things is that a lot of developers in China went in without much knowledge of golf. They just develop and they create a bad name for the industry, because when they start developing projects without taking into consideration government requirements, without taking into consideration the feelings of the public, especially the farmers that's living nearby, without taking into consideration in terms of how to make the money from the investment. These are all very important issues that each and every one of us who wants to develop golf courses should think of.
We've done 15 golf projects in India, Pacific Coast Design, so we know the market very well. the new golf courses in India stack up with any of those against anywhere else in the world. So you've got the talent to do it, you've got the positions, you've got some iconic structures. You don't get those sort of structures elsewhere in the world. Delhi Golf Club, it's got the Lodi tombs. So they've got peacocks walking on the fairways, deer. I mean, this is a paradise for golfers. So India is definitely there.
But first, let me take this opportunity to congratulate Anirban Leri. You know, when you said players, so I think 49 at the Augustas, an Indian there within the top 50, great show. So that kind of answers your question, where are we? We are there, and if you see the show, we've got delegates from all over the world attending. So obviously it's caught the fancy of people. Obviously there is attention. So I think a couple of more big and large shows like these and initiatives like these will obviously now put us on the global map.
If you look at golf in the Middle East and where it was, you know, 1988 was the very first green grass golf course in the area. You know, the people there and the destination, they had a couple of objectives. They wanted to create a destination, not only for leisure travel and tourism. So one of the first things they did with only one golf course back in 1988 was get a European Tour professional event. They got people like Ernie Els, Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, some of the best players in the world. And that created live TV event across the world. Many times, the first time people ever saw anything from Dubai was on TV with a great exotic backdrop. And over the years, those events created a catalyst for investment. And now, you know, 30 years later, there's nearly 30 golf courses throughout the UAE and the neighboring countries.
We have, you know, golf courses right from Jammu Kashmir to south, deep south, and we can give them a game of golf throughout the year, which is not possible in a country like Scandinavia, where there are 6 lakhs golfers. They can only play 3 months in their own country. So they charter planes, go to Thailand, go to Malaysia, play 3 rounds of golf, come back. So if we take at least 10% share of that market, you know, which is a huge potential for India. And as you know that whenever golfer goes on a holiday, golfing holiday, he spends around 50% more than the normal tourist. And a golfer takes 2 to 3 golfing holidays in a year, and he always wants to have a new golf courses. And now in India, you know, we have number of golf courses with beautiful locations and beautiful facilities also.
We've got a couple of good examples in India, the latest being the ITC Classic, which is a luxury collection retreat, part of our brands. And while it's very early days, but the way in which that retreat is looking to be positioned will suggest that there will be an absolutely new kind of a luxury product in India associated with golf. And I think the success of something like the ITC Classic will probably encourage more and more developers to look to build resorts along with their golf courses.
I'm excited about the opportunities for golf in India. When things are done less than their potential, that creates opportunity. And so golf, a lot of people are very excited about golf in India, and it has huge potential for the future. So if I can come in here early now and share some of my wisdom and share some of the mistakes that I've seen and maybe even made in the past, then it will help make sure that golf progresses better in India. So I'm happy to try and help them do that.
Well, here we are from the stall area of the expo, and what's interesting to note is that everybody who is anybody in the golfing fraternity is making its presence felt here. So it's generally a B2B activity, and a lot of business is getting transacted from these stalls that you see around me, whether it is irrigation products to make a golf course or just golf designing companies to golf courses. Everyone seems to have a stall here, and lovely activity right here from the stall area.
The India Golf Expo 2015 was a major attraction for internationally acclaimed brands, showcasing cutting-edge technological breakthroughs in golf equipment. Rishi Narayan gave us a candid peek into the whole idea behind the show and his future plans.
Let's start talking to you about the India Golf Expo 2015. Why the expo in the first place? I mean, you're an ardent promoter of the sport. What is the idea behind this?
Well, Chetty, you know, one of the unique things about golf is it's more than just a sport. It's actually a big business and an industry, very unlike, let's say, a badminton and things like that, because Building a golf course, it covers anywhere from 50 to 200 acres of land, and the cost of building a course is anywhere from 10 to 200 crores. And therefore, there's a huge industry that supports this whole construction and design effort of golf courses. Just like any other industry, an industry needs a buyer-seller meet. So this is nothing but an industry buyer-seller meet, just like you may have in steel or defense or anything else. And to make the whole industry work more efficiently and to help it expand in the future, we need to do this where everybody meets on one platform. There's a lot of knowledge exchange. There's a lot of networking. There's people from different parts of the country who get together and compare their problems, work out solutions. And it's generally, very good for business.
Right, and like any other country, you have this once a year.
Yes, even in big golf markets like China, they just have one China golf show. In Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, they have one big golf show, and it's important that once a year the industry gets together. More than that is difficult. People are busy, everybody's busy with their own agendas. But once a year, it makes a lot of sense to do this.
Okay, on a winding note, tell us a little more about what you plan to do next year and how do you make it bigger? Apparently, I hear this is one of the biggest in South Asia that you're promoting.
Well, definitely in South Asia, this is the biggest. One very important step is we've already announced the dates for next year's show. So it's April 13th, 14th. Same week, we want to keep the same week every year and make that a date that everybody blocks in their calendar annually. So a very important thing is to announce the date. Venue is going to be Gurgaon again, because then a lot of people all over the country and in the industry can start planning what they want to do in the show. That itself will help the show get bigger. I think the success of this year's show is going to get a lot of buzz in the golf industry, and a lot of people who maybe didn't participate this year because they didn't know whether it was going to be worth their while are all going to be here next year. So I definitely see the show doubling in size next year.
Two celebrated golfers in the golfing fraternity were awarded Lifetime Achievement Award at the awards night, and of course one of them being Jeev Milkha Singh, a celebrity in his own right. For 2 decades he's been a flag bearer for golf in India, and of course not to forget, and this man needs no introduction, Pawan Munjal being the other one. His contribution towards the game of golf in terms of just the stake money is something that we all can't forget very easily. Let's take a look at all the action and the awards that were presented to these two geniuses of the sport.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to first, we're going to give away 2 IGIA Lifetime Awards, one for lifetime contribution to golf, one for lifetime achievement in golf. Please put your hands together and let's have Mr. Jeev Milkha Singh up on stage. I'd like to now call on Akash Ori to present the award to Jeev. Let's have a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. That's the IGIA Lifetime Contribution Award to Mr. Pawan Munjal. We can have a bigger round of applause than that, gentlemen.
I would like to thank IGI for this honor they've given me. As a professional golfer and as an athlete, I was just trying to do my job the best way possible. I'm a very fortunate man that this game has given me a lot. I've followed my dream and my dreams have come true, and I'm making a living out of what I love doing.
Well, recognitions, awards are always very welcome, always incentivize you to do more. And well, I've been involved with golf now for over 2 decades. Me personally, also my company, both in terms of sponsoring events as well as sponsoring golfers. Other than that, I personally have been involved with the administration of the game of golf. It's all very gratifying to see the game grow at such a fast pace now, and also see Indian golfers doing so well in the international arena.
Well, what fantastic 2 days it has been right here at the India Golf Expo 2015 from the DLF Golf and Country Club. And indeed, what's important to note really here is that a lot of business got transacted. A lot of stakeholders of a sport got a chance to come under one roof and fraternize with each other as well. Until we see you next year again from the India Golf Expo, thank you so much for tuning in. May the sport be with you. And this is Chaiti Narula signing off. Take care.